So I'm going to go over utility for B site on T side overpass. So firstly, let's work our way closer and closer to site. From way back here at trash, you can throw two useful smokes for fast B plays. The first of which is on the front section of this railing, on the leftmost intersection here, just a left click jump throw. And then nestle your crosshair in the corner right here, right in there, and do a W jump throw. So W at the exact same time as you hit jump and release your grenade. And that's going to be mid-sight and bridge smoked. Moving on a little closer, there's a couple pieces of util from here. First, I'll do the molly. If you're coming in and running towards B, if you come on this angle here where you ran alongside the concrete and just keep your crosshair at the like corner of the rounded section of B here. I used to do it right at the bottom, right where that concrete line is, or sorry, where that darker line is, but I find that this lands a little better. So the still want to be to the right a bit here, bottom right of the B, middle click jump throw right at the end of the shadow there, and that's going to land nice to stop anyone from pushing short B. And so releasing right at the shadow. One more time, it looks like this. You can release a hair early, but much earlier than that, and it's gonna hit the roof right here. So that's your fast short B molly from right alongside this wall here. You don't need to be wedged in, just as long as you're near the back here. So as you're coming out of spawn, you can just smack against this wall, and you'll look up from the bottom notch here. So not centered in the circle, but and not this notch here, but it's hard to see. It's not really a notch, but for the sake of being precise, I visualize that right there, and then I go up. Actually, sorry, yeah, up from here and about halfway to that dark line. You're gonna full speed run and release right when the top corner of this building goes behind this green bar there. This one is a little precise, so it takes some practice, but up from here, halfway in the concrete, run and release. And you'll be able to see that even this tight angle right here gets bloomed immediately. Within the first second, there's going to be absolutely no vision. And then they're going to have to completely commit to fighting out in front of the smoke, which makes it much easier to trade. I'll quickly go over one more flash that you can throw for early round B, or if you're just trying to disrupt them. If your teammates are up at that threshold, I recommend looking at this pink thing so that it goes over top of this. It'll still blind them if they're looking towards this side of monster, but if they're out and looking left, it should not blind them. I'll throw it right now. No blind. But this is just a good early way to get a flash deep enough to get that monster player and even the close player here. With that flash out of the way, let's move on to our set smokes from this location. So you can smoke basically everything for B from this barrel. If you're wanting to smoke middle of sight, it's just to the left of this dot here. Don't go too far though. This is my reference here, this rusty area. If you pass this edge of the rusty area along this line, it's not going to hit. So I'll show you that. So it's hitting even at the center of the line, it'll hit if you want to just use that for easy reference. But if I go left, 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 at a certain point, it goes as far back as it'll go against that rail, and then it hits the box. So I just go a couple pixels over to the left, and that generally hits really good from the same spot. You'll see these two lines. This is the line I generally line up with, and this is the line that is too far. There's your bridge smoke. If you want to smoke off right side graffiti, you can aim right in the center of this horizontal stretch of metal along the bottom edge of it, and left click jump throw. For middle of graffiti, this smoke is not perfect, but you can go down from just along the edge of this vertical line here, hugging that, and go right to touching the bottom of this front face of the metal beam. So that's about right there, hugging the left line, not the right one, and just on top of that line on the bottom face of that metal. Left click jump throw. And we'll see that on the right side of this, it's going to bloom and make them commit to jumping on the sandbags after a second. And on this side, there is no vision. Throw it one more time and just see it at the start on this side as well. So no vision of short immediately, and then very quickly vision of the sight angle goes away. If you want to molly the barrels, you can find yourself anywhere between these 2 points here along this back wall. You're going to release before you hit that mark, just before you hit that mark. I aim right at the bottom of this open mouth on this graffiti face. Left click and running throw, release late, and that's going to land at barrels. If you want to molly the headshot angled area over there from this spot, you can. Just come to the end of this lighter line right against the wall. I aim right near the bottom of this little V in the panel of concrete here. So right around in that spot. Not quite right at the tip of it, but just near the bottom where I wedged my crosshair in there. And I'm going to release this at the exact same mark on the ground as the other one. Run, left click jump throw, and that's going to land nicely and spread fully for the headshot angle there. You can throw a good front of pillar flash for sight by finding yourself right along the same area as you were throwing the barrels molly. Aim right at the top of the tunnel here in this concrete horizontal section, and just do a running jump throw, just releasing where you have been for the mollies. And if you release it just where you release the mollies, you'll find that it comes out deep enough right in front of the pillar on this side so that your monster players are never going to get blind by that. From the bottom of these stairs here, moving closer and closer to B, just aim right at the crease of the thumb right here or in the center of the hand, and jump throw anywhere around this line here below this crease. For smokes from monster, from this corner, don't climb too much, don't keep pressing, but just wedge yourself in the corner and aim right at the top center of this I-beam. That's going to be your bridge smoke. And then if you just kind of wiggle back till you can see the darker section on the bottom of this globe and aim in the center of the light area, that's going to get you a middle of sight smoke as well. Lastly, let's move on to short B. There's a lot you can throw from right here. Just in this little notch here of this graffiti letter, right where it meets in. If you left click throw, that's going to be your mid sight. If you follow the left edge of this part of the S, or whatever this graffiti letter is, up to the first wire, and left click throw, that's a good bridge smoke. For heaven, if you visualize this triangle in three equal areas, I just aim in the center of this bottom left area here. That gets nice and deep into heaven. For middle of graffiti, I go up from just on the outside of the right of this concrete pillar, and then I go up until the center of this railing, and left click throw. For right side graffiti, I go up from this little knob on the light post and up until the top of that same light post and left click throw. And for left side graffiti, this one is not used very often, but it's just on the right side of that planet right there on the sign. So I'll rethrow all of these really quick just so we can see all of the ones that land. So we've got our center of sight smoke, we've got our bridge smoke, we've got heaven, we've got center of graffiti, we've got left graffiti, and we've got right graffiti. Alright, so that's basically all of the smokes from short B in one location. That's really handy to know. If you want to molly barrels from the exact same location, find the highest dot along these lines here before reaching the horizontal board, just on the plywood, and left click jump throw. That's a good barrels molly that should spread every time. And if you want to molly headshot from around this spot, all you need to do is take a step back anywhere on this mound. If you find this board height and just aim in the center of this lower section of wood here and just do a walking jump throw, that's going to land and should fully bloom as well for that area. For flashes from this spot, you could flash monster by aiming just down from this window to the bottom of the shadow. This one does the trick too, it's easier to remember. This will flash basically all the same things. The other one just is a little bit more optimized, gets a bit farther and hangs a little lower. For flashing sight after your teammates get out of a monster, you can find yourself in the same corner where you threw the smokes and just aim at the top left corner of this buckle here. That'll aim nice and center on the pillar. And lastly, if you want to flash for graffiti, which this one will get, but there's one that lands a little closer and flashes off this side a little better in case they are holding an angle like this, which that flash will not get. So if you want to flash that player off, same corner, up from the center of the wood again, and just make sure you're above this light. I like to go above this bar so that it doesn't bounce on top of the wood. And that's just a middle click throw. Gonna land just in front of here. It's gonna be really hard for them to turn. And that will get both sides of graffiti. Right, I think that's all of the B utility I have to show you. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you got some value out of this. Peace.